It is absolutely crazy, but we are only 63 days or maybe 70 until the year-end earnings call. Of course, we don't know yet whether it's going to be on the 17th or the 24th, but could be as little as 63 days until that earnings call. Now, a lot is going to happen in that very short time. I'm going to give you 12 things that we know will happen by that date, which you've heard before, but I'm going to just do a shorter version. But then I'm going to give you 13 things that might happen between now and then that could drive the price even higher than the all-time high that I'm predicting by the end of January. But first, we will take a look at some of the news of the day. This is Randy Kirk. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, please hit notify, and please buy more of these little beautiful Cybertruck. I can never find the right way to open this. Here we go. So there's the magnetic latch. There you go. And then you open it and surprise. Yeah, some of you are not surprised. It will sit in there nice and snug generally. Okay, so there you go. You can't break the window on this, even if you throw a ball peen hammer at it. It will not, or a little ball, you can't break the window. No. So anyway, $25 for one, $65 for two, and no, that's incorrect. $45 for two and $65 for three. You send it to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters. Extra $20 if you're outside the country, and please notify me whether you want a camo or whether you want the stainless steel version. Okay. Oh, and join Patreon. Come on. I haven't had any Patreon. No, I think it's been a week or maybe 5 days since anybody, no, about 5 days. 5 days since anybody joined Patreon. You know you want to join Patreon, so now's the time. All right. So we had a Starship launch this morning. Did y'all get up early and watch it? I had to get up at 4:45 in order to watch that launch, and it was phenomenal. It was fantastic. It was everything that it was claimed to be. And it was so successful because all the things that Starship was hoping for, all the things that SpaceX and Elon and the gang were hoping for happened. They got their second stage burn. They got their separation. They got the Starship itself launched into the orbital pattern. And then, they lost both ships. Okay, they lost the booster and they lost the ship. Both of those things were contemplated. Both of those things were possible, and they were talked about beforehand. Could it have been better if everything had gone perfectly and no explosions had happened, no RUDs at all? Of course, but based on the mainstream press, they almost universally called it a failure. They talked about the explosion. Well, maybe they're just doing their job to make it, fantastical instead of making it what it should have been. The headline should have been, SpaceX has incredible success on launch of the second Starship or something along those lines. Anyway, but then the MSM hates Elon Musk. It doesn't matter how many mainstream Jewish leaders say that his post on X was not a trope, not anti-Semitic. They still pound away. Now they're saying that the Starship launch was a failure. So what's surprising? The hate goes on. I don't know what to tell you. One Jewish leader after another is coming out and saying that Elon was perfectly actually correct in what he said about the ADL. And the ADL was very complimentary about a news program that Elon instituted to try to, tamp down some of the tropes that are actually tropes. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go on and on about this. I'm done with it for now. All right. Okay. Foreign investors as a percentage of total investment business in treasuries has dropped from 40 to 30% over the last decade, including a very sharp sell-off in September. Now, let me say that again. So China, Japan, other countries around the world, sovereign treasuries, individual, larger corporations and companies that buy bonds for various purposes that are from foreign countries have dropped from 40% of the total of those who were investing in U.S. treasuries down to 30% of the total in the last decade. And in September, there was a sharp drop. Now, we know that a lot of that is China and Japan. We've talked about this on the channel before, but other groups are also cutting and selling treasuries. Now, if you add into that the Fed has been a net seller of treasuries for the last year, it becomes more obvious why we've seen the high yields And then it's less obvious where the huge amounts of cash is coming to replace those two groups that have been selling off. So I do expect maybe China to come back a little bit, maybe Japan to come back a little bit. That's a low expectation, but maybe overall international numbers to bounce back a little bit, in which case, what are we going to see? We're going to see yields headed lower, and that's what I expect anyway, as you know. So let's see. Fortune magazine says there continues to be a divergence between the Magnificent Seven and the rest of the market, says Jason Benowitz, senior portfolio manager at CI Roosevelt. There's definitely a question as to whether or not there will be a catch-up and how that might occur. In other words, he's talking about some of the smaller cap and some of the even the big caps that are not in the Magnificent Seven beginning to get some of that cash. That all the Magnificent Seven, all of the incoming money has been going to the Magnificent Seven. As to what that trigger might be, he says, I'm not concerned about that happening in the long term. He doesn't know what might cause it to occur. Well, you definitely, I've been expecting it for a while. I've been talking about it for a while. I think that there will be some rotation out of the techs, out of especially the Magnificent Seven. That doesn't mean that they're going to go down. I just think the other ones are going to start to see some of that money. Investors, he says, were given plenty of opportunities to fret about the outlook for technology giants this earnings season. Instead, they doubled down on a strategy that's worked all year, piling into the biggest stocks. That buying spree has fueled an abrupt U-turn in the NASDAQ 100 stock index and went from correction territory to a 15-month high in a matter of 3 weeks, adding roughly $2 trillion in market value along the way. So there you go. That article went on to talk about 6 out of the 7 of the Magnificent Seven stocks, talking about how each one of those was contributing or not. Lo and behold, Tesla wasn't mentioned at all. I just don't understand it. So Jim Chanos has lost enough. He's lost enough money, so he shut down his fund. His fund, of course, was famous for shorting great companies. His losses on Tesla are legendary, and it's likely the biggest reason for him choosing to close up shop. In other words, never bet against Elon. All right, so now what do you want to do? Do you want me to give you the 12 things I already talked about last week? I'm just going to give them off quickly and then give you the 13 things that, okay, so, okay, I've made a decision. I'm going to start with, there's 12 things we know are going to happen. These are not maybes. These are things that are going to happen. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. We know that these things are going to happen. And so if they happen and they happen the way I want them to happen, I mean, I'm sorry, not if they happen, when they happen, and if they happen the way I think they're going to happen, we will be at all-time highs by the end of January. All right, so here's those 12. Number 1, the number shipped in Q4. We will know that on January 2nd. My projection is 500,000. I think if we get to 485, 490, we're in good shape. 500,000 would be perfect. Number 2, margins. I'm saying those come in at 18%. If they come in at 17.5, I think we're fine. Even 17, we're probably fine. Better that we come in at 18.5 or 19. Number 3, energy profits Q4, more than 500 million. I don't think this will make a big difference in whether we get to all-time highs. If it's the same as Q3, that'll be fine. It'll be way better if we're showing, continuous growth in that category, and I think we will be. I'm pretty sure we will be. Number 4, early production of Cybertruck. We'll know what those numbers are. And of course, what we're looking for is to at least be better than what people are thinking. People right now have a very low idea of what that's going to be. We'd like to see something that goes, oh, that's not bad. That's what we would hope for. Number 5, early reviews of Cybertruck. I mean, these are things we know are going to happen. There will be early reviews. Obviously, what we don't know is how those reviews are going to go. I'm saying they're going to be outstanding, even crazy good. And of course, that would be something that I think is necessary. Good reviews in order for us to get back to all-time high. Number 6, price and the specs of Cybertruck. They need to be in line. If the first, if they're going to only sell 100,000 Cybertrucks for a long, long time, and they don't mention some lower prices than that could be a problem. I don't think that's going to be the case. Number 7, early sales of the Model 3 in Europe. We'll find out what that's like. How many are they selling in Europe? How many are they selling in China? How many in Australia? How many in the other export locations? what we need to see there. This is not going to be as big as the first 6 I mentioned, but it's important. What we want to see is that it's excellent, that they're doing very well, that they're starting to be maybe even some lead time issues, okay, in those markets. Number 8, guidance for vehicle sales in 2024. So at the earnings call, they're going to give guidance. We know, well, there's a chance that they won't. So this would be one where, hey, they might not give guidance. That would not be good. I'm just saying, not giving guidance, I would say, would blow my opportunity, my chance, my theory about all-time high. So they need to give guidance. I think if they're at least at 2.1 million, everything will be fine towards going to the all-time high. I think they're going to come in at 2.2, and that'll be very good. And that'll help to make sure we get to the all-time high. All right, number 9, whether any price cuts or price increases have happened during the end of 2023 and January 2024. So we will know that. We'll know if there's been any price decreases or price increases during that time period, if there's been no price decreases, and if there's been continued little $500 here, $300 there price increases. Those would be what I'd be hoping for. Number 10, an update on the production of the 4680s and guidance to a full ramp 100% 100 gigawatt in the first half of 2024. I'm sure we'll get the update on production of the 4680s. May not even be at the meeting, maybe beforehand, but at some point we'll get that update. And if it's still looking like we're getting close to that 100 gigawatts during the first half, that will be another major reason why we're going to hit those all-time highs. Number 11, margins increasing on energy storage. So they came in around 25%. We'd be looking for them coming in even higher. Not critical to getting to the all-time high. Number 12, version 12 released. I can't say for 100% sure that's within the next 60 whatever days. 70 days of version 12 will be released. We don't know that for sure, but I'd say there's an extremely high likelihood. Elon recently said it would be in about 2 weeks. So that means, sometime probably within 2 months. So, all right, now here they are, the 13 things that might happen this period that I believe if we get those 12 or pretty much those 12 as described up above, and we get 1 or 2 of these things, we're going past all-time highs. So number 1 would be FSD complete. Can we get a yes on that? Does everybody agree with me on that one? If we get FSD complete, numbers are going to go higher. Number 2, a production line showing that Optimus is actually in production. Not they're still making parts, not they're still making tools, not they're still organizing the line. No, actual production, and also or a demonstration of Optimus doing useful tasks. I think we get either one of those. I think we probably bounce ourselves up beyond all-time high. Number 3, confirmation of 80 gigawatts at Lathrop, which we mentioned last week. So right now what we have is we have Bradford Ferguson's speculation based on what he saw at Lathrop that they're going to increase the amount of production at Lathrop to 80 gigawatts. What would be great is to hear that from the Tesla leadership. That will help to get us to all-time high or beyond all-time high. Once people can start putting in 80 gigawatts into their numbers, into their plan, yeah, I think we go past all-time highs. Number 5, and that's even before the other possibility we'll mention in a minute. Okay, number 5, an announcement of the Model Y Juniper shipping date. So when will Juniper ship? We've been talking about Juniper, what's going to happen there? Will it start in the US? Will it start overseas? Will it be both? If we get some kind of announcement about Juniper, that would help us to potentially go past all-time high. Similarly, an announcement of the Model 3 shipping in the US. That'll have less of an effect than Juniper, but it would have an effect. Number 6, the groundbreaking at Shanghai Megafactory, or any increase in Shanghai of car capacity. So we're thinking that Shanghai is maxed out at about 1.1 million. Maybe if they can say they're adding on another floor or they're starting another building or something, which would indicate more car capacity in Shanghai or someplace else in China, and or the mega factory there is actually happening. Right now we've been told there will be one, but we don't have the groundbreaking. We don't have a building. We don't have a date when those are going to start to happen. So that would be big. Again, this is something that can be put in the spreadsheet of the investment community. And this would be big, big, big if they can start to see these massive amounts of profits that are going to come from the mega packs. Number 7, groundbreaking at Reno, or an increase in semi-production capacity. So it may not be the groundbreaking we're expecting based on what we're hearing now from, I think it was from Brian White the other day. They may be building a separate building now to do those semis. And it's not a huge old building like we're thinking of, it just be a standalone. So whatever reason, if we could get some semi capacity going with some kind of expectation of what that's going to look like, I think that gets us past all-time highs. Number 8, a guidance for the increase in 4680 capacity in Reno or Berlin. We've already got the extra 100 for the Austin plant. That's huge. And I don't think anybody has really paid attention to that yet. So we could get a reconfirmation of that would be great, but we also know they're planning 500 gigawatts at Reno and 100 gigawatts at Berlin. So some kind of advisement with regard to when that's going to happen. Are we going to start Reno production of 4680s in 2024? When does that start? What about Berlin? Are they going to start in 2024? That would be huge, I think, in increasing our expectation, our potential numbers for the stock in 2024 or early 2024. A groundbreaking in Mexico. Yes, I'd like to have that happen. The sooner the better. Number 10, the date of the reveal on Gen 3. So when is Gen 3? So not the actual, not a car. We don't need to see the car. We don't need to see a picture of the car. Just give us the date. You're going to have an event where you're going to reveal the Gen 3. That would really help to catapult the stock price. Number 11, confirmation of Gen 3 production in Austin with approximate dates. So if everybody is speculating, is it going to be Mexico? Is it going to be Austin? Is it going to be Shanghai? Where are they going to make the Gen 3 vehicle? Love to have that at the meeting in January. Where are they going to truly make them in Austin? And when do they expect production to begin? I think that would be a big deal on the stock value. Number 12, the guidance on the production of the Cybertruck. So not only one thing would be to say, okay, here's how many we're making right now. Here's how it's going. We think it's going okay. The ramp is going along well. We're happy with the ramp. And by the way, this is now, we still think full ramp is a year and a half, 18, well, at that point, it might be 15 months. Or we believe the ramp will go better than expected. So if it really was better than expected, then that could impact the stock price. I said there was only 13. There's more than 13. There's at least 15. Let's see here. I'm sorry. Here we go. Number 11. Number 12. Number 13. An announcement regarding the India timing. So will we have an announcement between now and then? I think so. Maybe not. But maybe they're going to say, hey, we will have a groundbreaking or a big ceremony or something in India in March, something that solidifies the India thing and turns it into something more real. It looks to me like I'm 99% certain at this point it's going to happen. But are we talking about 2025, 2026? Or are we talking about something that's going to happen right away? Number 14, a major announcement on the success of the advertising that they've started and any significant plan for substantial future ads. So we know they've started the YouTube advertising. They've run an advertisement themselves for another person on the staff that would help them with advertising production. So one thing, either the pay-per-click is working or the YouTube is already working or something's happening where they've got some decisions now. But give us something, give us some speculation, some advance on what you think is going to happen with the advertising department. How big is the spend going to be? Is there going to be anything on television? Is it going to be all YouTube? And are they just going to be throwing up lots and lots of YouTube? What's going to happen there? Something like that. The community would probably go, okay, here we go. Number 15. And this is one that other people talked about before I did. Lots of people now are thinking this is going to happen. And obviously this could blow up the stock. A deal with any other OEM for some kind of a license on some kind of software that Tesla provides for cars, or on some part supplied by Tesla. So the license for OEMs that would be for full self-driving or for the entire operating system or something like that would be the biggest deal. But even if it was some part that's provided, like the sled, etc., that would be massive. All right. Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments if there was anything in this that I missed, anything that you don't agree with, you think that I'm crazy. But anyway, those are so it's a total of 27 things, 12 that could happen, or no, that will happen between now and January 17th, let's call it, and 15 that might happen that would just drive the stock crazy. All right. You did miss something, and I did too. I messed up earlier today, and I put the wrong title and the wrong thumbnail with the wrong video that went out this morning with Brian Wang. So that will be fixed. Roughly speaking, here's how I'm going to fix it. Tomorrow morning, I will actually do the one that talks about the computer in your car and how that will be used to create the biggest computer in the world. This is extremely important, extremely potentially big. And Brian did a great job in producing that with me. So tomorrow morning, that is what you're going to get. Look for that title. And so that's why you need to hit notifies to be reminded. If you haven't already done so, hit like. Do you hit like all the time? Please hit like all the time. If you haven't ever subscribed, that's a good thing to do. And then hit notify. All right. So that's what's happening tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night, we'll have the regular show at the end of the day. The one that should have been on this morning, the one that the title and the thumbnail was about hybrids. And I don't know what happened, but nobody clicked on that. Do you not care? Let me know in the comments below. Is that, forget it, I should never put that one up again, because you just don't even care whether the hybrid is going to be a big deal. You think you already know. I thought I knew everything there was to know about hybrids as a competitor, hybrids and their future, etc. But no, Brian Wang really helped me to understand what the transition looks like, how they're being used as a bridge, whether or not that's going to help. I think we did a great job on that. So let me know in the comments below. I'll put that up maybe later next week, Wednesday, or even on Thanksgiving, or maybe on Friday. But let me know if maybe it's just not interesting to you. All right, that's fine. It's okay if it's not. Okay. Anyway, so sign up for Patreon, where I put up news as it breaks when it's worthwhile. And $5 a month. Many of you can afford that. Or think of it as just a tip. Just, hey, Randy, I like what you're doing. What you're doing is valuable. I'd like to participate. Anyway, go ahead and join Patreon if you don't mind. $10 a month gets you, of course, a free one of these beautiful, beautiful, stainless steel or camo, whichever way you prefer. Get it for free if you join at the $10 level. And then, of course, you could buy one of these or buy 3 of them, or as one guy did the other day, 20. Okay. So lots of people buying multiples. 3. I had 5 orders last week, 5 orders in the last 5 days that were for 3, for 10, for 11, for 20. So you see, lots of people get it. This is a great Christmas item. It's great for something for your employees. It's great for something for your buyers. And of course, you need one for yourself in multiple locations around your house and in your playthings, like your plane. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm done. That's enough. I'm out of breath. It's been great talking to you.